Here are the 2024 Volkswagen Atlas, the Cross Sport and the Standard Atlas, SEL R-Line and an SEL. You're getting about 2.8 inches longer when you go to the traditional Atlas opposed to the Cross Sport. 2-row to 3-row, same power option. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, 34 horsepower more than the last gen turbocharged 4-cylinder, 15 pound-feet of torque more as well. And as you're noticing in the front, there is a difference. Both of them will get the C-Structure adaptive LED headlights and daytime runnings that integrate into the light bar, optional lighting for the emblem, and the lower both get the chrome. The major difference here is the R-Line aesthetics is also going to look a little bit more sporty, giving some gloss black elements. Whereas when you go into the traditional, you're going to get more of the chrome elements, both at 8 inches of clearance. The lower bumpers, you'll also notice a different structure for the side curtain and the center. It's going to look a little bit more dynamic for the Cross Sport R-Line. 20-inch multi-spoke alloy wheels is set with the SEL Atlas. And the Cross Sport will be a split 5-spoke 20-inch alloy wheels, both of which you can option a 21-inch wheel. And on the side, the 2.8 inches, you're not going to notice too much difference, except this is more traditional, whereas when you get to the Cross Sport, you get the coupe design. And both will get the same 2.0 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder with 269 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. Also, both will be paired to the 8-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission. The difference, you're getting 19 mpgs for the city on both. The Cross Sport, you're getting 26 mpgs for the highway, where you're getting 25 mpgs for the Atlas. You're gonna lose 7 horsepower from the prior gen, but we're gaining 7 pound-feet of torque. 5,000 pounds of towing is standard on both trims. So really you're just looking for a more sport style, which is what you're getting with the coupe design, or third row and a little bit more cargo capacity, because you're getting nearly 100 cubic feet of storage when you get to the third row variant, whereas here you're getting under 80 cubic feet of storage, both of which will not be as much as the new Honda Pilot, and the Cross Sport will have a little bit more width than the Atlas. Both of them will get a power tailgate, 20.6 cubic feet behind the third row. You're gonna get some storage nooks on both sides underneath the floor, an area for the privacy cover, and a spare tire with some storage underneath. Split fold the third row at a 50-50 split, increasing cargo to over 55 cubic feet, and here's that 12 volt to make it a little bit more accessible. Split fold the captain seats, and that will increase cargo to 96.8 with an optional bench for the 7-seater, going into 40 cubic feet of storage, LED interior lights with a privacy cover, a little bit of storage nooks on both sides with a 12 volt. And underneath, we get a spare tire. Split fold the rear bench at a 60-40 split. Unfortunately, they didn't redesign it where you could do it here. You have to actually go to the back seats to do so. And then it will increase your cargo to 77.6 cubic feet, and it's a more flat floor. It does sit up a little bit because this is the Cross Sport. Let's go inside and start up this new turbocharged so you can hear that exhaust note. Titan Black Vienna leather, 10-way power seat adjustment with memory for the driver, 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger. Both of the front is heated and ventilated. Vienna leather for the first and second row, heated ventilated seats, 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 8-way power seat adjustment for the passenger, memory for the driver. Headroom, you're gonna have plenty of it. The same thing with legroom, because the Atlas is wide. It's also long, and they put that into the footwells. The major difference between the two is we're getting wood inlays with the gloss black. You still get the soft materials here, where here you're gonna have the aluminum look with the gloss black and the soft materials. 2-tier air vents on both sides with a more sleek air vents in the center, quick buttons, and also the upgraded 12-inch infotainment. This is the quick wedges. Click into your navigation. This has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. 6 speakers come standard. Put it into reverse. You get a reverse camera with front and rear sensors, full trajectory. Click onto modes right here, and you can change all the different driving modes for the vehicle. You can also do custom, which when you click here, you can make it as sport or as comfortable as you would like. Just simply hit the X. If you need to do your climate control, you can hit the Climatron right here for the climate control settings, the heated ventilated seats. You can also click it right here also. 30 ambient lighting that will be throughout the interior of the cabin. What I like about this is the gauge cluster. You can now get the navigation on both screens. That was not available until now. Heads-up display, auto-dimming rear view mirror, and a pano moonroof. Everything is touch. So just touch for the lighting, slide your finger for the pano moonroof to open up. In the center, also been refreshed, opening up into a wireless charging pad, storage, USB, the gloss black with the rocker to put it into drive or reverse, and the new key fob that is designed from the ID4. I like it. It has a little bit more weight. It's not really plastic. It looks elegant. Another storage tier. It's going to be soft to touch. Opens up. It's a little bit smaller with the USB, but they compensate it by giving us a pass-through now that emphasizes more storage space. And you get a USB right here. So if you want to put a radar detector or a dash cam, you don't have to have wires everywhere. The dashboard and the door panel configure with the wood trim. It's going to be soft to touch more or less with the leatherette that's going to be perforated, one touch up and down for all the windows, and a longer and deeper, wider storage pocket than the prior gen. 3-spoke leatherette steering wheel. It's heated multi-function with the paddle shifts. And then going back to the gauge cluster, you can go through an array of information. You can also zoom in and zoom out for the navigation, and all tiers you can change and reconfigure. So I do like this a lot more so than most of the competition because it's basically an Audi for a fraction of the price. Here we're going to have captain seats and more headroom, and you can adjust the seats forward and backwards for the third row occupants or have a bench. And for the cross sport, headroom will be a little bit more tight, legroom will be optimal with the bench seat and an armrest. In the Atlas, we'll have the third climate control, heated rear seats, USB ports, air vents, and a home plug with storage behind both of the front seats. The same thing with the sunshade, wood inlays, and the same storage capacity. But you can lift this up, slide in, and we have a third row. For the third row, headroom and legroom. This is with the seat adjusted forward. Because there's only room for 2 people to fit back here, you can adjust your feet a lot more so than most of the competition. Storage pocket, 2 USBs, cup holders, and air vents, but only USB on this side. The Atlas and the Cross Sport will have the same engine option. So 269 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. I like how they've streamlined that to make it easier for buying purposes. But I feel like when you get in the Cross Sport, it should have the VR6 or maybe a little bit more horsepower and torque just to kind of set it apart, because the MSRP is also more money because of the coupe design. You're still going to feel the width of the interior. And this one does feel a little bit longer, predominantly because of the traditional SUV feel. Both of them you feel like you're sitting higher than 8 inches of clearance. And the suspension on both are going to be a smooth ride even with upgraded wheels. This is going to feel a little bit more sporty than the Atlas because of the way the windscreen is shaped and because you have that coupe styling in the rear. Interior space is also going to be a little bit more optimal for the 2-row occupants, obviously. When you get into the third row, it's still one of the best in class considering the length of the vehicle. And towing capacity is going to be the same whether you get the 2-row or the 3-row. So really, it's do you want a traditional SUV or do you want that coupe styling? Some pros to the Atlas is you get more seating, either 6 or 7. I would personally do the captain seats because everybody can fit a lot more easy and comfortable. And because it feels more upscale than most of the rivals, you kind of want to have that Audi feel, in which you get that with this. Maneuverability. The steering is light on both. It's gonna feel heavy because they are a little bit heavier, even though the engine is a little bit lighter. Just the turbocharge, it's a 4-cylinder. You're going to be hitting more of a 2.5 to 3.5 RPM pretty much for your daily use in the vehicle. What I like about the Cross Sport is that you're getting just as much storage as you would get in the Atlas. You are losing some seats, but it's basically the same components and same towing capacity. Some things I dislike to the Cross Sport opposed to the Atlas is in the second row you can move or adjust the seats. Here you can't, which I get it. In the comments you'll probably say something like, why do you need to move the seats up? Well, you can get more storage capacity when you have the seats pushed up a little bit more so, and you don't have to have it folded downwards. A con on both sides is the wood trim. I like it, but it also becomes older quicker. When you get the mesh look or you get the aluminum look, it keeps that sporty look for a longer time. The good thing too about this turbo is at a lower note, it's a little bit more lively. So you can mash on it and it kind of just goes. It doesn't have too much of a lag. Turn radius in the Cross Sport, and we have it in sport mode so we can play with the Tiptronic. 2 lanes. And the brakes. It's just your everyday drive with a little touch of performance. It's the same as the Cross Sport. And the brakes. Basically the same as the prior gen. And the nice thing about the Cross Sport is you get the performance feel. It's not overly wide. You can do everything pretty much on the fly, so you just change from sport to comfort just like that. Everything still is derived through the infotainment screen, but the quick wedges help, and I like that you also have touch sensitive buttons to turn on the lights, to slide open the pano moonroof. They did just a great job overall with the refresh of the vehicle, taking what was a good vehicle to begin with and just making it better. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like, and I'd like to thank Volkswagen of Newport Richey for giving us these 2 2024 Atlas Cross Sport and regular for our car review.